Kaylin Carson is making plays. It feels like, I mean, I don't know if it's every day, but it feels like every day something's coming out with Caelen Carson making plays on the ball. Because in college, he only had like 3 interceptions in 4 or 5 years, whatever it was. But he's had like 2 already in this camp. He's been sticky, and he was a sticky guy coming out of college. I felt very physical, very sticky. And I thought there was a possibility that Carson could be a fantastic slot guy of the future. Mm-hmm. But from Pat, he hasn't played a lick of slot, not a single snap of slot. And with Diggs out, I guess it makes sense, right? I always thought he was the next guy up, even if Diggs was there. But they're solely focusing Carson on the outside. So it's Carson, it's Deron Bland, it's Jay Lou on the inside. Again, it's camp, it's early. Has he done enough for you to say, hey, let's not go out and get a veteran guy? By the way, Garyon Conley told the Cowboys he retired, so he doesn't count as a veteran guy.
Garyon Conley want to go back to Whole Foods or whatever he was doing, but I love Kaylin Carson, but the only thing better than 1 is 2. The only thing better than 2 is a few. You know what I'm saying? So I love what Kaylin Carson is doing, but I would still love to have Gilly up in here. I mean, that just makes sense to me. You know, why have 4 good guys? You can have 5. You know, but there was this one report that just blinks in my mind. It was like, hey man, Kaylin Carson's he's lined up here with the 1s, and he's staying there. So in my mind, there's no rotation at 1. Like it's not like there's Bland and there's Jordan.
Nahshon briefly was out there, felt like.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, okay, Nahshon getting 20 reps, Eric Scott getting 20 reps, Carson getting 20 reps. It seems like Carson's getting most of them.
Yeah.
And that just says bad things for the dudes that was here with Dan and them, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Kaylin, I always felt like Kaylin was like competing with outside with Jordan. And if Kaylin wins, then Bland will just go to the nickel guy. But Diggs being on pup kind of changes things a little bit. We don't know when he's going to be ready. But Kaylin's been impressive. And also, too, though, Scott, think about this. We're treating Eric Scott like a 5th round pick. Like, that's cool, or 6, whatever it was. Cool, Eric Scott. You ain't going to play. You're a 6th round pick, whatever.
Right.
Kaylin may have gotten drafted in the 5th, but he had a 3rd round grade on him.
I'm about to say, it felt like a steal.
Confirmed, by the way. Brian asked somebody, and they asked somebody, and they got back to him, and he got back to me. Kaylin Carson had a 3rd round grade on him, and that's how I felt. I felt like Kaylin Carson had better film than Nealon, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Kaylin Carson was a 5th round pick, but do you treat him like the 3rd that you thought he was? And I think they treat him like that. You know what I'm saying? So, hell yeah, Kaylin Carson ready to go, but I would still like to have Gilmore here.
Yeah, I think coming out, and we talked about it here on the show, breaking him down, I felt like he was better on film than Eric Scott was coming out of college. He was just already more polished, and I thought he's a perfect fit for this Zimmer scheme because he can play up at the line of scrimmage, be physical. He can play off. He has his closing ability. And again, I didn't watch every corner, but I watched some of the top ones. I thought his closing ability competed with all those guys. Just closing on the ball or tackling at the line of scrimmage, running through blockers. His ability is there. The production just wasn't all the way there, but that's where coaching comes in. That's where fit, scheme, and all that comes in for the NFL. And look, if Diggs is not ready, it is encouraging. And I said this the other day. I said I only want him out there if he's forcing himself out there. Sure. I don't want it out there because guys are hurt and Zim feel, and they're not signing anybody. And Zim feels I have to throw him out there. If he's forcing himself out there, then yeah, you let him go through the fire. But like you said, 2 is better than 1, and 3 is better than 2. So I'm still looking, but I love the progress of Kaylin Carson. I think he has some dog to him. That's the word of the year. Some dog to him. He's some talent to him. He's a great fit. I am excited to see if maybe this kid, and I even said this as just a thumbnail, if he could be the next Bland. Yeah. Meaning maybe he ain't starting right away, but next thing you know, this dude is a superstar. But that's so far down the line. I ain't trying to jump that far yet.
D Shift in the chat says, how did Kaylin Carson fall in the draft or whatever? Because teams suck at drafting, sir. every single year, man, somebody just kind of fall down the draft that ain't had no business fall down the draft because teams just simply not good at this. But
if I had to guess, I would say ball production, like literally only had 3 picks. Draft fatigue could be another one. Because if you go look at mock draftable, and this isn't guarantee anything, early on in the process, he was a 3, Vach.
Yeah.
He was like low 2, high 3.
That's
and then I think around March, if you go look at it, it just dropped all the way to 6, came back to 4, and settled in about 5, 6. And it's like, well, why? Everything that I've read about him, he's a smart guy, hard worker, experienced. The tape is clean for the most part. I do think something I would like to see is how he handles deeper routes. We saw Racey McMath get behind him, and I saw that in college a few times. I think it was Florida State, Notre Dame. You know, they got behind Kaylin Carson when he was off ball and he had to defend maybe a multiple, like a stem or what have you at the top of a route. But look, he's a rookie. He's going to get beat from time to time.
Sure.
So, but I say draft fatigue, and like Vash says, teams just suck at drafting too.
Yeah, and just looking back on it, it was a big class for corners and wide receivers. So I guess everybody just kind of found their favorites or whatever. But I mean, I'm grateful, appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Kaylin seems to be a dude, especially when you need dudes now. You know what I'm saying? So Kaylin seems like a hit for us. It's incredibly soon, Sky. I know,
yeah.
So, but he seems like he would be a positive hit. One thing I will say, one more thing Zimmer said when he was on the radio and all that is Zimmer's trusting his young guys. Zimmer wants to see what he has in them. Like he's playing his young guys, not this old nonsense Cooper BB working with the threes and, he got to get his XYZ. Yeah, he got to earn his spot or whatever. Zimmer like, all right, Marshawn, you got to play. Justin Rogers, you got to play. Kaylin Carson, you got to Louis Fowl, you got to play. So I love Zimmer's attitude towards the young guys because as much as fans say we need these young guys, Zimmer agrees too. But it's the old folks on the offense that want to stick with, Truman and Brock and them.